Download the My Digicel app from the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store today. Digicel, better together.
This is the news on top of the hour.
Live from our studio in Georgetown.
Kaieteur Radio, 99.1 FM.
Good evening. Time check for you, 19 hours 2. My name is Amrita Koshal, and it is now time for your nightly newscast. Instead of helping to boost the capacity of Gaisuku, the Demerara Sugar Terminal, along with its berthing facility, has been costing the corporation some 110 million Guyana dollars annually for the past 5 years. This state of affairs, Gaisuku said in a release, has led to it partnering with the Guyana Rice Development Board with a view of getting more bang for each buck spent. Therefore, in a close partnership with the GRDB, the corporation will utilize the south bond of the DST to assist with the export of rice, while the north bond will continue to be used exclusively for bulk sugar export, as has been the case since the closure of 4 sugar estates. This move, the corporation assured, is in compliance with its strategic plan and the directives of its shareholders, even as he complimented Minister of Agriculture Zulfikar Mustafa for spearheading the initiative. Gaisuku's Chief Executive Officer, that should be Sesnarang Singh, noted that Gaisuku is looking forward to working closely with both the GRDB and the Guyana Rice Milling Association in bringing this project to reality. And moving on, we now tell you that according to the findings of the Auditor General Deodat Sharma in the audited report of 2020, the Ministry of Public Works, under the guidance of Subject Minister Juan Edgehill, between November and December 2020, entered into 3 contracts with the same contractor to rehabilitate 3 stallings across Guyana. But not only was one contractor awarded the projects to rehabilitate the Bartica, Supanam, and Parika stallings, but he was also paid over $40 million in full, a clear breach of the contractual requirements. According to him, the contracts to facilitate rehabilitation works to the stallings were entered into with the same contractor on the 4th of December 2020, 26th of November 2020, and the 30th of November 2020, respectively. However, the full contract sums were paid in December, even though the defects liability periods were 6 months. In other stories, we now tell you that a 44-year-old man identified by police as Dennis Bennett, a miner of Canal Bank, Port Kaituma, is currently nursing severe head injuries after he fell from a truck while it was speeding along the 10 Miles Road, Region 1. According to one of the 6 passengers who was traveling with Bennett, said that while the truck was passing through 10 miles, he stood up and attempted to sit on the rail while it was still moving. Bennett somehow lost his balance while trying to do so and fell out onto the road. The rest of the passengers immediately alerted the driver, who reversed, and they jumped out to pick up a severely injured Bennett, who was in a semi-unconscious state. They then rushed him to the Port Kaituma Hospital, where he was admitted for injuries to his head and body. Moving on, a man who allegedly attempted to rape a 16-year-old girl in a heavily tinted white car, PXX490, along the Coverdale East Bank Demerara Public Road on Tuesday, January 11th, is currently out on $90,000 station bail as investigations continue. The suspect was initially identified as a rank of the Guyana Defense Force, but investigations conducted by police revealed that he was not a soldier, but the husband of one. The victim had recalled that while he had tried to rape her in the car, she had spotted a GDF hat and clothing. Police later noted that the hat and the clothing belonged to his wife. As it relates to whether he will be charged for trying to rape an underage girl, East Bank Police Commander Mahendra Sunarayan said that investigations are expected to be completed shortly and the case file will be sent for legal advice. Time check for you, 19 hours 7. We will return with more news for you shortly after the break.
Guyana is now a full-fledged oil-producing nation. But how much do you know about this valuable yet finite resource? On our radio program, Guyana's Oil and You, we strike at the heart of every issue with informed views and credible data. The time is now for you to arm yourself with insightful knowledge on your oil wealth.
And now back with more news in detail. A decision made by a 23-year-old man to exchange seats with another passenger on a speedboat bound for Port Kaieteur Region 1 proved to be a fateful one after he was killed by a propeller on Tuesday last. He was identified as Chief Prasad of Jack Low, Upper Pomeroon River, Region 2. Prasad reportedly died during the early evening hours in what is being labeled as a freak accident when the boat, powered by a 200 HP outboard engine, was traveling along the Port Kaieteur River. The boat belonged to a relative of Prasad and was hired by passengers at Mabaruma for a trip to Port Kaieteur. Reports are that while traveling closely along the riverbank, the engine foot struck a piece of wood and it catapulted into the air. The spinning propeller attached to the end chopped Prasad several times to his head, killing him instantly. Moving on, we now tell you that a French-American multinational firm, Technip FMC, which recently landed a multi-million-dollar contract to supply the subsea equipment for ExxonMobil's fourth project in the Starbrook block at the Yellowtail Development Area, is inviting expressions of interest from local companies to supply materials for its planned operations offshore Guyana. According to the company, it is looking for local firms to supply personal protective equipment, safety-related equipment such as absorbent pads, and even workshop tools or equipment. Additionally, Technip FMC is seeking Guyanese to supply maintenance, repair and operation supplies, as well as companies to provide laundry or cleaning services. The international consultancy group reminded that Technip FMC defines the Yellowtail contract as large, meaning that it is worth between $500 million and $1 billion. And finally, we tell you that following a tie between two senior executive members of the PNCR at the party's 21st Biennial Delegates Congress held December last year, Christopher Jones has stepped aside to allow for a fresh leader in the being of Mr. Viceroy Jordan, who scored an equal 381 votes for the position of second vice chairman. Jones, who is also the party's chief whip, made the announcement yesterday in a statement. According to him, the tie in votes for the position was an unprecedented development for the party. However, after lengthy discussions with the leadership, he has decided to step aside. Jones explained that he has already signaled his intent to the PNCR leaders, as he is confident in Jordan's ability to further advance the party's development agenda. My name is Amrita Koshal, and this was your nightly newscast right here on Kaieteur Radio.
Want value for your advertising dollar? Then place your ads on Kaieteur Radio's newscasts. Streamed live on 6 different mediums, reaching hundreds of thousands. Advertise today and watch your dollar grow. Call us on 225-8465 or 226-8210 today.